I thank the gentleman. The chair recognizes Mr. Cummings of Maryland. You may proceed.
Mr. Paulson, good seeing you again. Let me ask you this, Mr. Paulson. Do you realize that a lot of the American people believe that there's a sort of Wall Street club, and that let me finish. That you all play golf together and you have a lot of fun, and then you know when the billions come around, you're able to kind of distribute them. I mean, I'm just saying, do you know that that's how people feel?
I sure do. And even though
can you keep your voice up?
I said, even though I'm not a golfer, I know that's how people feel.
Yeah, and they when they see these deals going on, then the next thing they do is they begin to look at where people worked. And then they see the relationships, and then they say, well, you know, we don't have a chance because it seems like they're kind of looking out for themselves, but not looking out for us. And so, you know, you just gave a statement about transparency, and, you know, and I think one of the things that bothers people is when they don't see transparency, then they begin not to trust. And when they begin not to trust, it becomes very difficult for them to go along with any program. And then when you put on top of that they can't see themselves benefiting, and I know that you mentioned that if we didn't do what we did, and unemployment may have gone up to 25%, but it's hard for people to even see that. You understand?
Yeah, Congressman, you've got it. And that's, people are very, very angry, and I understand it, why they're angry, and they're rightfully so, because they don't see the connection. And they don't recognize that what was done wasn't done for the banks. It was they were going to be the victims if we didn't step in.
And so among the conditions in the TARP AIG SSFI investment senior preferred stock and warrant summary of senior preferred terms as posted on Treasury's Department's website, the following condition is noted. Quote, the annual bonus pools payable to senior partners in respect of each of 2008 and 2009 shall not exceed the average of the annual bonus pools paid to senior partners for 2006 and 2007. Do you believe it was appropriate for Treasury to allow AIG to create any bonus pool for senior partners, considering it had just found it necessary to extend $40 billion to the firm through the TARP?
I'm not going to get into second-guessing decisions that were made at Treasury about bonuses. I realize this was a very difficult decision because the taxpayer had a lot of money in this company.
Right.
And this company needed to perform well and needed to hold the team together in order to repay tax.
Right. And the taxpayers were saying to themselves, look, these are our tax dollars. We worked hard for these tax dollars, and now these guys who screwed up everything are getting bonuses.
Yeah, you're right. No one, me included, likes to see private business profit from taxpayer assistance. That makes people angry. And to me, I just hope that part of that anger is not a diversion from what we need to do, but is an incentive to fix the system so that we'll have resolution powers, and never again will we'll have a company that's so big, too big to fail, so the taxpayer has to come and put money in. That a company can be liquidated and wound down in a way in which the taxpayer's not on the hook again. Mm-hmm. But so I understand there's that anger out there and that frustration. I think it's very understandable. And I think there's a number of ways to do something about it, but the best way to do something about it is reform the system so that we don't ever again have to bail out a big institution, rescue a big institution. It can be liquidated if it fails.
Now, with regard to the original Treasury TARP investment in AIG, was this structured as a loan or as an equity investment?
Congressman, it was an equity investment.
And was this in the AIG parent holding company or in the individual subsidiaries?
This was in the parent. This was a $40 billion equity investment because a company needed equity.
And was it made subordinate to any other creditors of AIG?
Well, a preferred is, by definition, senior to the common and subordinated to the other creditors.
And how does this compare to the various Federal Reserve investments in AIG?
Well, this would be this is subordinate to the other Federal Reserve investments in AIG, because a determination was made. The rating agencies basically said you need to put capital in this institution, or there will be a downgrade, and then they would have precipitated the failure.
And why was it structured in this way?
It was structured in that way because that's the way a preferred needs to be structured. That's where it wouldn't have been capital if it hadn't been subordinated to the other to the other liabilities.
I see my time is up. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I thank the gentleman.